Hello and welcome to goodness, sorry. Hello and welcome to our radio drama presentation of Pokémon 3 the movie, Spell of the Unknown. We will be doing two performances of the film today. The first read through will be a normal performance, and after intermission, we will go through the same script again, but modified using lingojam.com/badtranslator. Please note that this is a live performance, and the cast has had no rehearsals together, so there may be occasional stumbles in the dialogue. We're expecting to have a lot of fun and hope you will too. And now, please enjoy Pokemon 3 the movie, Spell of the Unknown. The quiet town of Greenfield has certainly earned its name. Its sprawling hills are covered with trees, it's surrounded by a meadow of sunflowers, and at the center of town, atop the tallest hill, is a large mansion with two large towers. Inside the mansion, a man shows his daughter a picture book as he tucks her into bed.
These are legendary Pokémon, Molly. Lots of people believe in them, even though they've never seen them. And in this book, the artist imagined what some of them might look like.
Molly points to a picture of an array of Pokemon vaguely shaped like letters.
This is the one you're looking for, isn't it?
Yes, I've been looking for it for a long time now.
It looks funny. There's Entei!
The girl points to another picture, this one of a large bestial Pokemon with brown fur.
Entei looks a little scary to me, but you like Entei.
Entei's veal big and strong, but it's still nice. Just like you are, Papa.
I'm like Entei? I'm like Entei, am I? Imagine that. Well then, I am Entei.
Molly's father begins roaring playfully, and Molly pounces on him.
You're Entei!
Here we go.
Molly's father runs around the room with his daughter on his back. Their laughter is interrupted when the computer turns on and displays a Pidgey delivering a letter.
Another email. It must be Schuyler again. It's always him.
Molly's father goes to the computer and opens a video message of a man standing in front of ancient ruins.
Professor Hale, we found something. A hidden chamber with new clues about the unknown. Please, come quickly.
I've got to go now, Molly.
Papa, I'm gonna miss you.
And I'll miss you. I'll be back just as soon as I can. Keep me close in your dream.
The professor returns his daughter to her bed.
I love you. Pleasant dreams, Molly.
He turns out the light on Molly's nightstand, which has two picture frames on it. One contains a photo of Molly, her father, and her mother, and the other shows the three of them with Professor Oak, Delia Ketchum, and a young Ash Ketchum. The professor travels to the desert, where he joins Schuyler at the ruins. The stone walls are covered in carvings that vaguely resemble letters.
Here it is, Professor.
Whoa!
I've never seen markings like this before, but they seem to be about the unknown. What do you think?
We'll see.
He pulls out his laptop and begins taking pictures with it.
Well, if anyone can figure out what it says, it's you.
The professor spots a tile on the floor with a marking that looks like the letter P. When he picks it up, a small creature that looks just like the marking appears behind him, but it disappears when he turns around. He next discovers a box containing more tiles with letter-like markings. When he picks up a handful, they crackle with blue energy, and several more creatures appear around him. The professor only has enough time to gasp before the small beings vanish again, this time taking him with them. The next thing he knows, he's falling through a strange, endless dimension filled with nothing but the creatures.
It's the unknown!
Back in the ruins, Schuyler turns around when he hears the professor's laptop fall to the floor.
Professor? Professor? Professor!
The next morning, Schuyler returns to the mansion and speaks with a butler. The two sit at the dining hall, looking at Professor Hale's laptop and the closed box of tiles on a table between them.
This is awful. Now the poor young miss is all alone in this world.
Molly runs into the room.
Papa? I saw the car and...
Molly.
No. I should tell her.
That night, a distraught Molly brings her picture book to the dining hall and opens her father's laptop.
Papa, what happened to you?
She finds the last thing that was displayed on the device, the pictures of the unknown carvings.
They look just like letters. I can spell our names with the unknown. Papa and Mama, they're together with me.
Molly opens the nearby box and spells out their names with the tiles that she finds. As Molly begins to cry, the tiles begin glowing. Miles away, a portal opens in the ruins, and unknown fly out of their pocket dimension. The swarm of black and white creatures flows out of the ancient structure and high into the sky, where they open another portal, this time emerging in the mansion's dining hall.
Unknown? Do you all want to play with me?
The unknown float around Molly and chirp playfully. A moment later, pink and blue crystals begin forming underneath the girl and quickly radiate throughout the room. Schuyler, the butler, and several maids hear a crashing sound, and when they run to the mansion's foyer, they see crystals spreading outward from the closed dining room doors.
What is this?
Schuyler bursts through the door and sees Molly watching the unknown in awe.
What are they?
Those are the unknown.
More crystals surge forth, forcing the door shut again and barricading it. Molly picks up the picture book and recalls her father's words as she turns to the page depicting Entei.
Papa.
Spencer.
These are legendary Pokémon, Molly. And in this book, the artist imagined what some of them might look like.
Papa.
I'm like Entei, am I? Well then, I am Entei.
Papa, please come back.
The unknown, now floating in patterns around the room, shifts slightly. As crystals continue engulfing the mansion, a blue haze appears, growing and coalescing into a quadruped beast with brown fur that resembles a hybrid of a dog and a lion. It has gray spikes on its sides and white fluff on its back that flows out like a cloud. The unknown move away from Molly and float along the ceiling as the newcomer approaches the young girl. The beast doesn't move its mouth, but a voice emanates from it.
Are you the one who has called me here?
Are you my...
I am Entei.
Papa, it is you. You look just like Entei in the storybook, but it's you. Papa.
Molly runs up to Entei and hugs it.
Papa.
Papa?
The creature regards the girl for a moment.
If that is what you wish.
Outside, the sun rises while Schuyler, the butler, and the maids all watch in horror as the mansion is completely engulfed with the crystals that continue creeping outward from the building. Step by step, Ash, Misty, and Brock walk up a hill, continuing their Pokémon journey, wondering what adventures await as they travel into unknown territory, never suspecting that that's exactly where this road leads. As they reach the top of the steps, our heroes spot a trainer and her APOM.
Have you guys Pokemon trainers?
Sorry, first day, still learning.
Jace, I believe that's you for Lisa. I think. Let me double check. Yeah, Jace, you're Lisa.
Are any of you guys Pokemon trainers?
Your reverb is still on.
God!
Yeah, I'm Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town. Why do you sound like that?
I'm Brock from Pewter City. I'm incredibly intimidated, but I want to be your boyfriend.
I fell down a well. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm a trainer too. My name's Lisa. Want a battle?
Go ahead, Ash. Pika.
All right, a workout will help me stay in shape for Johto League.
Excuse me, but first, let's see if you're even in my league.
Well, get ready, because I always play to win.
Ash tosses a Pokeball and Totodile materializes. Lisa sends out Granbull and I'm not going to narrate this whole thing, sorry, but narrated Pokemon battles just aren't that fun to listen to, and this one really isn't important. It's a casual battle to occupy the screen during the opening credits. I'll narrate other battles that actually have plot relevance later. As for this one, it ends in a draw, which is kind of interesting. That doesn't usually happen. Afterwards, everyone and their Pokemon have lunch together.
I have to admit, I'm impressed, Ash. You're one of the toughest trainers I've ever seen.
Thanks, Lisa, but you almost beat me.
This is Ash's 5th battle this week. His Pokemon are getting pretty tired.
Hey, Lisa, would you happen to know if there's a Pokemon Center anywhere around here?
There's one just over the mountains, in Greenfield.
Just over the mountains and... Everyone's heard of Greenville. I've wanted to see it ever since I was a little girl.
Me too, and I know the quickest way to get there.
Lisa guides the gang up a hill, her Apom leading the way, swinging from tree to tree.
Greenfield's supposed to be a beautiful little town with beautiful gardens and a beautiful mountain with a beautiful mansion right at the top.
Yeah, everything in Greenfield's beautiful.
Everything's beautiful in Greenfield, huh? Then I can't wait to see all the girls.
Well, you can see Greenfield from up at the top of the hill.
Everyone rushes to the top, stopping in their tracks when they see half the town covered in crystals with a massive flower-like structure at its center. Meanwhile, up in the sky, Team Rocket flies by in their balloon.
Greenfield's just as I had imagined it! Beautiful fields of flowers that turn into a bizarre crystal wasteland that obliterates the entire... Hey, what's going on?
I thought Greenfield was supposed to be pretty. It looks horrendous.
Only that, it looks bad, Yog.
Wobbuffet!
Yes, and things look pretty bad enough without you. Back inside!
Jessie recalls Wobbuffet as more flowers are turned to crystal near the edge of the town. A police siren is heard and everyone turns to see Officer Jenny arriving on a motorcycle.
Officer Jenny!
She's followed by a news truck. A reporter and cameraman hop out.
Ready?
Almost.
Tell me when.
In 3, 2, hit it!
Behind me lies the normally peaceful town of Greenfield, but these green fields have suddenly undergone a disturbing transformation. Officials are baffled by this shocking phenomena, which appears to have originated at the hilltop mansion of a renowned Pokemon researcher, Spencer Hale, whose wife mysteriously disappeared 2 years ago.
In Pallet Town, Delia Ketchum sees the news report.
How much more can Spencer go through?
Delia runs to the kitchen and finds 2 pictures hanging on the refrigerator. One is a group photo of the picture that was in Molly's room, Delia runs into the kitchen and finds 2 pictures hanging on the refrigerator. One is a group photo that was hanging in Molly's room of the Hale family, the Ketchum family, and Professor Oak. The other is of a young Delia and Spencer standing on either side of Professor Oak. Meanwhile, at Oak's lab, he and Tracy also catch the news.
Professor Hale is well known as a leading authority on so-called legendary Pokemon.
Hey, wasn't that Spencer Hale one of your top students, Professor?
One of my best ever. In fact, he recently sent me some of his latest research.
Professor Oak pulls up some images Spencer took in the ruins just before his disappearance.
What are they?
They're called Unown.
Unknown?
Delia arrives at the lab.
Professor Oak, have you seen the news about Greenfield?
I'm going there. This has to be connected with Spencer's research.
I'm going with you.
You've known Spencer since you were a little girl, haven't you?
I'm worried about him, Professor. And I'm worried about Molly.
So am I, Delia. So am I.
Back in Greenfield, the crystal continues encroaching further and further, overtaking the colorful landscape. Inside the mansion, the Unknown have formed themselves into a large sphere, slowly rotating in midair. Meanwhile, our heroes make their way to a Pokemon Center several hundred meters away from the nearest crystal. The news team is there, along with Schuyler.
I'm here in front of the Greenfield Pokemon Center, where an emergency response team is just arriving.
A van pulls up, and Professor Oak emerges.
I'm so glad you could come.
Professor?
Pika-pee!
Pikachu rushes to the vehicle as Delia climbs out.
Pikachu?
And Mom?
Oh, hi, honey.
I didn't expect to see you kids here.
We didn't expect to see you either, Professor.
We should have known you'd come here to help.
How's my Pokemon Master?
I'm doing great.
The news team gets a shot of Ash hugging his mom. Inside the mansion, Molly and Entei see the broadcast from Molly's bedroom, which has been reformed with crystal. Molly looks at her family photographs longingly.
Papa, I want a mama too.
If that is what you wish.
Outside the Pokemon Center, Delia sits at a table with Ash and his friends.
I've known Professor Hale for years. He used to study Pokémon at Professor Oak's lab.
Then he moved away and became big and famous Pokemon expert, right, Mom?
Yes, but he and his family came back to Pallet for a visit a few years ago. Don't you remember?
Yeah, sorta.
First Spencer's wife disappeared, and now all this happens.
Really weird.
Nearby, Entei dashes through the crystal formations toward the Pokemon Center. Any greenery that isn't already crystallized is frozen over at the touch of its paws. Sensing danger, Pikachu abruptly jumps off the table, its cheeks crackling with electricity.
What's the matter, Pikachu?
Entei comes bounding around the corner.
What is that? It's some kind of weird Pokemon!
Delia steps forward, clearly upset.
What are you doing here?
I have come for you. You are Mama.
Entei's eyes glow, and Delia's become dull.
Take me to her. Take me to my child.
Delia faints, but Entei catches her on its back and carries her away.
Hey!
Pikachu is able to grab the end of Entei's tail as it speeds off. The news crew is able to film Entei just as it passes them.
Mom! Pikachu!
Pikachu tries to shock Entei, but the massive Pokemon simply shakes the smaller one off before continuing on to the mansion.
I can't let him get away!
Brock soon holds Ash back as he reaches the edge of the crystal growth.
Ash, wait! You don't know what's out there!
She's gone. I couldn't save her.
When Entei returns to the mansion, it places Delia on Molly's bed.
I have brought what you wished for.
Mama?
Delia wakes up, but her eyes are still dull.
Mama!
You called me Mama.
Yeah, and I'm Molly. Remember?
Delia picks Molly up and puts her on her lap.
Molly.
Mama! Thank you, Papa. Can we all stay here forever?
If that is what you wish.
In the dining hall, a glowing orb of energy forms in the middle of the sphere of unknown, while the crystal petals surrounding the mansion grow larger, and the crystal growth farther away begins surging, overtaking trees and windmills in waves while Molly and her family look outside of one of the mansion's towers.
Your world is getting bigger.
It's so pretty, Papa!
I am happy that you are happy.
Back at the Pokemon Center, Professor Oak brings up multiple historical depictions of Entei on a computer.
The Pokemon that took your mother was Entei.
Entei?
Yes, one of the legendary Pokemon. Professor, the other Pokemon must have something to do with Entei's appearance. You mean the Unown? The Pokemon you and Professor Hale were researching when he disappeared? Yes. Inside that mansion. Yes, I was afraid of that.
Far away, in a valley filled with Charizard, a girl watches the news report. Ash's Charizard is nearby and sees it as well.
The mystery at Greenfield has taken an even more disturbing turn as early this afternoon our cameras shot this startling video of a woman identified as Delia Ketchum being abducted by a mysterious creature as her son gave chase.
Ash's Charizard spots its trainer on TV and looks away from the valley. That evening in Greenfield, a bulldozer drives toward the crystal perimeter.
Now a bulldozer will try to break through the crystallized landscape surrounding the Hale mansion.
The bulldozers begin successfully plowing through the fields, barreling toward the mansion as the news team catches it all on film, unaware that Molly and her family are watching.
Go away! Leave us alone!
Molly stamps her foot, and the Unown in the dining hall become visibly agitated. Suddenly, crystal spikes burst forth from the ground beneath the bulldozer, carrying it back past the perimeter. The driver is able to scramble out of the vehicle seconds before a crystal wave washes over it. With the intruder dispatched, The unknown calmed down again.
I know it's hard to believe, but there's no other explanation. First, Professor Hale disappears. Then, this crystallization. And now, Entei. The unknown must be behind it. Oh, I got an email, and it's from Professor Hale's computer.
It's a video message from Molly.
Mama and Papa and me just want to stay by ourselves forever, so stay away. Everybody leave us alone.
The video ends as quickly as it began.
Molly, did she say her mother and father were with her?
That couldn't be. You said Professor Hale disappeared, didn't you?
Yes.
And what about her mom?
Very strange.
Meanwhile, Entei runs around the room with Molly on his back.
This is just like before, Papa.
Ash rushes out of the Pokemon Center and looks at the crystallized mansion.
I'm not gonna wait around anymore. Pikachu, it's up to us to save Mom on our own.
Pika! Stop right there. I'm going too.
And you're not leaving me behind.
Guys, you're the best.
Lisa and her Apom approach the group, and Apom hands Ash a small device.
What's this?
If you're gonna do something crazy, Ash, at least take my Pokegear.
Lisa.
You both can use them to stay in touch with the Pokemon Center. And if Professor Oak finds out what you're doing, it won't be from me.
You're a real pal.
Ash, Misty, and Brock walk through a small stream, making their way toward the mansion.
At least the water didn't turn to crystal.
We should be able to get to the mansion if we follow this stream.
Meanwhile, Team Rocket watches from their hot air balloon.
Hey, it's the Twipes. They're walking through the stream coming from that wacky building.
There must be some valuable Pokemon inside.
And the only way to get there must be by wading.
That's right.
But they're walking through the water.
They're wading.
No, they're walking.
They're waiting.
How can they be waiting if they're walking?
They're walking through the stream.
Yeah.
Then
And
they're
they're waiting.
Suddenly, Entei bursts out of the top of one of the mansion's towers, glaring at the approaching hot air balloon.
What's that?
It looks scary. Do you think it'll attack us?
It's probably harmless.
Yeah.
Entei harmfully launches a fire blast at the balloon, sending Team Rocket flying.
Team
Team
Rocket!
Rockets!
Before they can finish, their balloon crashes into the tower and they are left clinging to crystal lattices that span the interior.
A sneak attack? It's not fair.
It's usually our job.
What is all this?
It's not my idea of decorating.
Will you be serious, James? We've got to find a way out of this predicament.
You think we could shimmy up the tower?
It might take us hours to get to the top.
All three of them look down. They're so high up that they can't see the ground.
We could try to go to the bottom.
That's where we usually wind up anyway.
Wonder how long it'll take.
About 3 seconds if we jump.
Meanwhile, Entei returns to Molly and Delia.
Did you make them go away?
Yes, they won't bother us again.
Look, Mama, they're showing our house on television. It looks so nice.
Yes.
We're coming to you again, live from Greenfield, where just a few moments ago a hot air balloon was shot down after invading the airspace above the unusual crystal structure. Seemingly nothing can break through the fortress-like growth that's engulfed. Huh? It's a Pokémon.
The cameraman films Ash's Noctowl carrying Chikorita and Bulbasaur to the top of a water outlet on the side of the mansion.
Now, Bulbasaur, Chikorita, use Vine Whip!
Both Pokemon lower their vines down, wrapping them around Ash's waist. They aren't strong enough to lift him on their own, but they're able to stabilize him enough to the point where he can scale the wall. Misty puts Togepi in her backpack while she waits for her turn.
You'll be nice and dry in here, Togepi.
Professor Oak and Schuyler watch from the Pokemon Center.
What's he... Ah, that boy's looking for trouble.
He's looking for his mom.
Inside the mansion, Molly continues watching the broadcast with Delia and Entei.
I don't understand, Mama. Why is that boy trying to get into our house?
Delia watches the TV, a hint of unease breaking through her trance.
It's like
Ash loses his footing halfway up the wall and nearly falls.
get down from there this second!
Mama, what's wrong?
Delia, now snapped out of her trance, turns to see both Molly and Entei looking at her.
Oh, nothing.
Isn't that a Pikachu on that boy's back?
Ash is seen reaching his other Pokemon at the top of the waterfall.
A Bulbasaur and a Chikorita. I think that boy must be a Pokemon trainer. Don't you, Mama?
Yes.
I bet he has lots of other Pokemon too. Right, Papa?
Papa.
Once Misty and Brock are atop the waterfall as well, Ash turns to his Pokemon.
Thanks. Thanks for a great job. We couldn't have made it without you. You deserve a rest.
After recalling Noctowl, Bulbasaur, and Chikorita, the gang heads into the mansion. They discover that the source of the water outlet is a greenhouse with a lake. As they make their way toward a crystallized gazebo, Ash's gifted Pokegear rings.
Are you guys okay?
Lisa?
Ash, we just saw you on TV. What do you think you're doing?
I just had to come here, Professor Oak. I should have told you.
Yeah, that's right. You should have. It's a giant, legendary Never mind. But we have to talk about that later. After you get your mother out of that place.
Okay.
Ash, this is Schuyler. Have you seen any Unown?
No, not yet.
Yes, so listen. We've been examining some of Professor Hale's research, and we think we finally come up with an explanation for why all of this has been happening.
What is it, Professor?
Unown have the ability to read the thoughts of other life forms.
Even people?
Yes, and not only that, we believe the Unown can create new realities, altering the world using thoughts and dreams. The Unown may be tapping into the imagination of Professor Hale's daughter. That crystal fortress could be one of Molly's wishes, made real by the Unown.
After hanging up the Pokegear, Ash sends out a Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil, flamethrower!
Cyndaquil aims its flamethrower at one of the crystallized gazebos and it burns a hole through the crystal, but it quickly reforms. After a moment of thought, Brock, Misty, and Ash let out Vulpix, Staryu, and Totodile, respectively.
Let's do it! Flamethrower!
Cyndaquil and Vulpix's combined flamethrowers burn another larger hole in the wall.
Good job, Vulpix.
Okay, second team.
Use your water gun!
As the crystal begins regrowing, it stops when it reaches Totodile and Staryu's sustained attacks.
Okay, you first, Pikachu.
Pikachu jumps into the water jets and is propelled through the hole in the wall, followed by Misty and Brock, while Ash picks up Staryu and Totodile.
All right, here we go.
He charges through with the two Pokemon, and the hole reseals itself a moment later.
Thanks, Staryu. You were perfect.
Yeah, you too, Totodile.
They recall their Pokemon and continue into the mansion. When they start walking up a crystal staircase, the entire room changes. The stairs become disconnected glass panels, and the interior is replaced with green crystal lattices.
Hey, what's going on?
Maybe the Unown are creating a new reality, just like Professor Oak said.
That's it.
Whatever it is, we can't stop now.
They continue up the steps and find a beautiful meadow at the top. At the far end of the field, another glass staircase reaches upward.
Where are we?
This must be part of Molly's dream world that the Unown created.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, Team Rocket, still lost, breaks past a sealed door and finds themselves in the dining room. The Unown don't acknowledge their presence.
Oh no, what now?
Hey, Pokemon?
Yeah, they kind of look like alphabet soup without the soup.
I don't know about soup, but if we're not careful, we'll wind up in hot water.
If we're quiet, we can sneak by. Come on.
I haven't seen this many strange letters since the last time I placed a personal ad.
We won't read into that. In the tower, Molly and
Ooh.
her family continue watching the newsfeed.
I think that boy and his Pokemon must be in the house somewhere.
Shall I send them away?
No. I want to be in a Pokemon battle, Mama. But I don't know if I can.
You can, if that is what you wish.
Do you really think I can? That would be so great, Mama! A Pokemon trainer! I can just imagine it.
As Molly leans into Delia's arm and falls asleep, Entei stands and phases down through the floor. As the legendary Pokemon descends from the tower, Molly materializes on his back.
Papa, maybe I'm not old enough to have Pokemon.
You must believe you are. Believe in the heart of the cards, too.
Molly glows blue and transforms into a teenage version of herself.
I do, Papa!
In the meadow, Ash, Misty, and Brock make their way toward the new staircase, but stop when they see Entei and Molly descending from it.
Entei,
The three of you are Pokemon trainers, aren't you?
what'd you do with my mother?
Entei leaps and he and Molly land on the ground gently.
Then let's have a battle.
Don't change the subject. Now where's my mother?
You're not any fun.
Entei, you took my mother. Now where is she?
There's no Entei. There's just my mama, my papa, and me.
Yes!
You're a liar.
Easy, Ash. By any chance, would your name be Molly?
That's right. My name's Molly Hale.
Brock, she can't be Professor Hale's daughter. She's too old.
Don't forget, Professor Oak said this is Molly's dream world created by the unknown. They can make anything that girl wants come true.
Anything?
Are you gonna battle me or not?
Yeah.
Why waste your time battling him when you can battle me?
All right.
No way.
They both came from that staircase. That's gotta be where they're keeping your mother.
Let Brock battle her. We have to go find your mom.
Let's go, Pikachu.
Ash and Misty run toward the staircase. Neither Molly nor Entei try to stop them.
Would a 3-on-3 Pokemon battle be alright with you, Molly?
That's fine.
Molly climbs onto Entei, and with one leap across the meadow, a battlefield appears in the space between her and Brock.
Zubat, I choose you!
Zubat appears as a crystal Pokeball forms in Molly's hand.
This is for luck.
She kisses the crystal Pokeball before throwing it.
I choose you, Flaffy.
Zubat, supersonic attack!
The attack hits and confuses Flaffy.
It's working, Zubat! Okay, now let's try a wing attack!
Look out, Flaffy. Evade it.
Flaffy gets out of the way just in time.
Nice, Flaffy, but it's coming back. Use Headbutt.
The attack hits, but barely.
Now use your Thunder Shock attack.
The attack lands, and Zubat is knocked out.
Zubat, return!
You did it.
You did your best.
You were great, Flaffy.
The battle's just getting started. Go Vulpix!
Flaffy turns to Crystal and disappears while another crystal Pokeball forms in Molly's hand.
I'm just getting started too, and I choose Teddy Ursa.
Teddy Ursa, huh? Well, figures a cute Pokemon trainer would have a cute Pokemon.
Teddy Ursa's a lot more than cute. Teddy Ursa Dynamic Punch.
Teddy Ursa charges in and sends Vulpix flying before it lands and recovers.
Vulpix, use your quick attack!
Use your Fury Swipes, Teddy Ursa.
Both Pokemon trade blows until Teddy Ursa tosses Vulpix aside.
At this rate, the match may not last much longer. Her dreamed-up Pokemon are tougher than real ones.
As the battle continues, Team Rocket sneaks into the room and up the stairs.
Hurry, before that kid sees us.
I don't like the looks of this place, Jess.
It's like a storybook land invented by a 5-year-old.
That's ridiculous, James. Just keep running and leave the thinking to me.
Back on the battlefield, the two battling Pokemon trade one more blow before Vulpix collapses from exhaustion.
Vulpix, return. You're a great trainer, Molly.
You are too.
If I even want to have a chance at beating you, I better start to really rock and roll.
Brock sends out Onyx.
And my Onyx is just how I like to rock and roll.
Rock and roll, huh? That's funny.
Hey, I made you laugh. That's my first victory today.
I choose Fampy.
The small elephant Pokemon stares down the stone serpent several dozen times its size.
Fampy, use your rollout attack.
Famby charges in and sends Onyx flying.
My little Fampy's stronger than Brock's giant Onyx.
Entei glances up at the glass staircase, but doesn't move. Meanwhile, Ash and Misty continue to climb the stairs, making their way through an increasingly distorted crystal structure. In Molly's bedroom, Delia looks through Molly's storybook and sees the depiction of Entei. Her startled gasp causes Molly to wake up.
Molly, have you seen this?
That's the book Papa used to look at with me.
Oh,
Mama, I'm really glad you're here.
Delia looks over to Molly's family photos.
you're by yourself a lot, aren't you, Molly?
Yeah,
Have you been lonely?
maybe a little. But I don't feel that way anymore. I have a mama and a papa now.
Molly smiles as she starts to doze off again. Delia sets the book aside and rubs Molly's back comfortingly while smiling sadly. The page in the book she stopped at depicts a beach surrounded by a field of large red flowers, and that's exactly the environment that Ash and Misty discover at the top of the steps. As they look around in disbelief, a teenage Molly materializes before them.
Which of you trainers wants to battle me this time?
Guess Brock couldn't beat her.
Entei appears as well.
Molly cannot be beaten.
Entei must be an illusion, too.
Which of you is a stronger trainer than your friend?
I am.
Hold it, Ash. Let me battle Molly this time.
And who are you?
My name's Misty. I'm a water Pokemon trainer, and I used to be the leader of the Pokemon gym in Cerulean City.
You're a Pokemon gym leader?
You bet I am, and I'm one of the best.
This is objectively false, both in the anime and the video games. Misty has either delusions of grandeur or is bluffing.
Hey!
You mean you don't have to be a grown-up to be a gym leader?
You can become anything you wish.
Molly closes her eyes and morphs into a slightly younger version of herself, this time about Misty and Ash's age.
The real Molly must still be up in the mansion with your mother. Hurry up and find him, Ash.
Ash agrees and begins scaling a new flight of steps beginning at the shoreline.
Since I'm a water Pokemon trainer, I'll just use water Pokemon to battle.
Okay, I'll only use water Pokemon too.
Molly gestures at the ocean and a massive wave appears. Misty braces herself as the wave crashes over her, but there's no impact. The water in the room continues rising, quickly surpassing Ash and Pikachu as they run up the stairs, but everyone realizes they are still able to breathe normally, although the physics around them are now accurate to being underwater.
I forgot, you can do anything you want here.
Molly pushes off from the ground, propelling herself upward in the water as a new Pokeball appears in her hand.
Come on, let's battle. I'll pick first. I choose you, Kingdra.
I choose you, Goldeen.
Kingdra leads off with a smoke screen.
Nice job, Kingdra. Now try a headbutt.
Kingdra bursts through the smoke and hits Goldeen.
Goldeen, use your Fury attack.
Goldeen lunges toward Kingdra repeatedly, but misses every time. The horsefish Pokemon retaliates with another headbutt, knocking Goldeen out.
Good job, Goldeen. You've earned a good rest.
You were great, Kingdra. How am I doing, Misty?
Not bad, Molly.
As they banter, Team Rocket swims by.
How can we breathe underwater?
Go with the flow. Sometimes it's better not to ask questions, James.
Hey, Jessie, I got a question for you that's probably better. I shouldn't ask. You think we're gonna get a bigger part in the next movie?
What fourth wall? Back on the battlefield,
Ooh.
Misty calls out Staryu while Molly sends out Mantine.
Okay, Mantine, tackle.
Mantine charges, but Staryu dodges.
Mantine, try your whirlpool.
Mantine swims around Staryu repeatedly and rapidly, forming a cyclone, trapping its foe.
Staryu's in trouble.
Now use Bubble Beam.
Mantine's attack hits its mark through the whirlpool.
Staryu, use Rapid Spin.
Staryu begins spinning and generates enough opposing momentum in the water to defuse the whirlpool.
Beat that.
Wow, Misty. Mantine, use your takedown attack.
Tackle it, Staryu.
As both Pokemon trade blows, Molly looks on with glee.
Papa, this makes me so happy.
I am happy that you are happy.
I love you, Papa.
Above, Ash and Pikachu continue running up the stairs. When they reach the surface of the water, they're instantly dried, and they soon reach the top. This time, they've actually made it to the bedroom. Delia is still sitting on the bed with Molly sleeping on her lap.
Mom!
Ash, is it really you?
Of course it is. Of course it's us. Are you okay?
I'm just fine now. The one I'm worried about is you. I wish I knew where you got such a reckless streak.
I guess I got it from you. That's her, right?
Yes.
And the unknown? Have you seen any?
If you mean the Pokémon that brought me here, no. It left a while ago.
That was Entei. The unknown are the Pokemon that made Entei and turned this place into a crystal because of the things in Molly's imagination.
Oh dear.
Come on, Mom. We've got to get out of here.
Okay. Molly? Wake up, Molly. Wake up.
I was dreaming, Mama.
Molly, listen to me.
Molly sits up, looking concerned.
I'm very sorry, Molly, but I'm not your real mama. You'll have to know the truth sooner or later. I'm really Ash's mother.
Molly turns and sees the new visitor.
Don't you remember when we played together, Molly? We were at Professor Oak's house in Pallet Town.
We'll talk about it later, but we have to go.
But why?
Molly hops off the bed and backs away from Delia and Ash.
We have to leave it now, Molly.
I won't.
In the dining hall, the unknown begin flying around erratically.
I won't.
The ball of energy at the center of the unknown suddenly triples in size and turns from blue to red.
No!
As Molly shouts, crystal spikes burst out of the floor, separating Ash from Delia. Outside, the crystal petals surrounding the mansion grow larger, beginning to encapsulate the building.
Hey, Mom!
Ash finds his mom behind some spikes.
Mom, are you okay?
Fine.
Delia looks down and sees the picture book open to a page that looks just like their surroundings. Spikes continue forming around Molly, physically isolating her.
Come on, let's go.
Molly gasps as she sees Delia walk toward Ash, and Entei suddenly appears behind her.
What is it, Molly?
Papa, that boy and his friends are taking Mama away.
A large crystal spikes up, separating Ash from Delia.
You fool! See if this is an illusion.
Think you skipped quite a bit there, Entei.
Oh.
Delia.
Help!
Mom! Mom!
Entei approaches Ash.
Leave her here and leave this place.
I won't do that. Entei, she's my mother.
Pika!
No, now she is Molly's mother.
Well, she's coming with me.
She is staying here. Leave this place, or you all will be made to leave.
That's what you think. Totodile, I choose you.
Totodile materializes.
You think you can defeat me?
I'm not gonna lose to some illusion. Totodile, water gun attack.
Entei easily dodges.
You fool! See if this is an illusion! Dark Magician!
Entei launches a flamethrower, and Totodile dodges the first 3 shots, but not the 4th.
Totodile, return. Well, if water won't work, then I'll use fire. I choose you, Cyndaquil, flamethrower attack.
Cyndaquil fires, but Entei launches a flamethrower of its own, easily overpowering the small fire Pokemon and knocking it out.
Cyndaquil, return.
Now have I proven that I am real?
I don't believe anything. You're the illusion of an Entei, dreamed up by this little girl.
You're wrong, Ash. You're wrong!
As Molly yells, more spikes burst out of the floor, and a gust of cold wind begins flowing through the room. Meanwhile, the Unown continued to become more and more agitated.
I am no illusion!
As Entei roars, the wind blows the pages of the book back to the picture of him.
I am this girl's father, and I must protect her!
Entei pounces, prompting Pikachu to attack with Thunderbolt, but the attack has no effect as Entei lands.
Pikachu!
Small Pokemon dodges a flamethrower before launching another Thunderbolt, but it proves ineffective again. When Entei attacks again, Pikachu retreats behind a crystal spike.
Pikachu!
Only you can stop this. Think about your real mother and your real father. Think about them.
What?
Team Rocket pops their heads into the room.
It's a little chilly in here.
The three duck down when they see Entei's flamethrower.
What's going on?
Jessie, come on. It's a Pokemon battle.
And this must be the Pokemon battlefield.
Pikachu's Thunderbolt and Entei's flamethrower collide in front of them, causing an explosion. Entei stalks towards a visibly exhausted Pikachu and prepares a fire blast.
Pikachu!
Ash dives and grabs Pikachu, barely dodging the fire blast, but the attack's impact causes a shockwave that shatters the wall of the tower and sends Ash and Pikachu flying through it. They plummet toward the spikes below, but at the last moment, a familiar friend swoops in and saves them. Charizard.
I can't believe it!
Pikachu!
Charizard, you saved our lives! Thank you!
Pikachu!
Charizard flies them up to the tower again.
Thank goodness. Are you all right, Molly?
Molly backs away from Delia as Charizard stares down Entei.
What is this?
My friend, Charizard.
Your friend?
Pika!
All of my Pokemon are my friends. We all work together like a family.
A family?
Then I will defeat your family too!
Charizard charges, but Entei pushes him back, nearly throwing Ash out of the tower again, but Brock grabs his hand. Brock is held by Misty, who is held by Jessie, who is held by Meowth, who is held by James.
We won't let you fall!
We're like family too.
Brock! Misty!
I'd say prepare for trouble, but you're already in it!
That's right!
Hey, don't steal my line, Yug.
Team Rocket's
helping out again!
Why are you helping out?
Yeah, you're bad guys.
Well...
You see,
It's really very simple.
if anything were to ever happen to you, we'd be out of the show business.
What fourth wall? Ash sees Molly looking over at the group.
If you come with us, you can have real Pokemon.
Molly backs away and her crystal Pokemon appear in front of her.
I already have real Pokemon. Now go away!
Entei sends another flamethrower toward the group, and Ash climbs onto Charizard's back while the others scatter. Charizard retaliates with a flamethrower of its own, but Entei dodges.
Papa!
I don't care if you're a real Pokemon or not. You can't take the place of her real father.
I am Molly's real father, as long as that is her wish!
Entei and Charizard each launch a blast of flames at each other. The attacks collide, and the resulting explosion sends embers toward Molly and Delia.
Molly!
Entei blasts another hole in the side of the tower and leaps out to the spire.
Charizard, use your flamethrower!
The attack misses, and Entei begins scaling the outside of the undamaged tower, with Ash and Charizard in pursuit.
Quick, Charizard, try another one!
Charizard's attack misses, but Entei loses its footing atop the tower and falls downward to the abyss of crystals at the base of the mansion.
Papa, no!
A spike grows out from one of the crystal formations, providing Entei a platform to land on, and more appear above it, creating a staircase back up the tower. The two fire Pokemon resume their battle, each dodging the other's attacks.
Don't hold back! Give it everything you've got!
Charizard launches a flamethrower that nearly engulfs Entei and the tower it's standing on, but Entei leaps away at the last moment.
Please, Entei, listen to me. Don't do this. If you really care about Molly, you'll let her come with us.
Entei's response is another attack. Ash flies up to meet Entei at the top of the undamaged tower, while everyone else watches from the hole in the opposite one.
It's not right for her to stay here with you. You have to let her go.
Whether it is right or wrong, I will do as the heart of the cards tells me to do, as she wishes!
Their attacks collide again, causing another explosion. From the Pokemon Center in Greenfield, the mansion looks like a massive enclosed flower that is glowing orange from the inside.
We gotta do something, Charizard. We gotta get Molly out of here.
Delia hugs Molly protectively, and this time the young girl doesn't back away, but she's visibly conflicted. Outside, the fight rages on. Charizard flies around Entei while the bestial Pokemon traverses the area via the spikes that appear everywhere it leaps. Eventually, Entei is able to get the upper hand and lands an attack on Charizard, sending Ash and his Pokemon crashing through the roof of the first tower. Molly's crystal Pokemon run out of the way just before Charizard hits the ground, and the impact knocks Ash off its back. Entei leaps down to them and presses its paw on Charizard's neck.
Entei, don't!
This card will end it!
A massive ball of fire forms in front of Entei's mouth as it prepares to strike Charizard point blank.
Stop!
Entei looks up, and the ball of fire dissipates. After a moment of hesitation, Molly rushes over to Entei and hugs its leg.
No more fighting. Please, Papa, no more.
Entei lifts its paw from Charizard's neck and allows the others to approach.
You're a great Pokemon trainer, Molly.
Huh?
Well, a big part of battling is knowing when to stop.
You already have the right instincts. I bet you could be a gym leader easy, if you wanted to.
You see, Molly? We always battle hard, but we always stay friends, because we all love Pokemon.
Pika pika!
Come with us, Molly.
On the outside, battles might be hard.
But the friends are real. What do you say?
Molly looks to Delia, who nods and holds out her hand.
It's just what your papa would want.
Molly slowly walks over to Delia and takes her hand. Tears form in her eyes as she smiles.
I want things real again.
Outside, the crystal petals surrounding the mansion begin to bloom. Molly's dream Pokemon fade, and Entei begins fading away as well.
Papa?
I was created to be the father who could make you happy here. If you would be happier outside, in the real world, I must go now. My people need me.
Everyone silently regards Entei, but the moment is interrupted when a jagged crystal spike pops up from the floor, nearly impaling Ash.
Oh no!
Let's stay calm!
More spikes emerge with no discernible pattern. Everyone huddles up in the center of the room. Entei begins destroying spikes, creating a path to the staircase.
This way!
Charizard, you take Molly.
Ash puts Molly on Charizard's back, and the winged Pokemon flies down the stairs.
Come on, let's go!
The others run out of the room behind Charizard as the room is covered in spikes. Down in the dining hall, the Unown have gone from a slowly spinning globe to a wildly flailing jumble, and the orb of energy at their center shrinks and grows unstably. Ash calls Professor Oak on Lisa's Pokegear as they rush down the stairs.
Professor, something's happening.
It's the unknown. They've generated so much psychic energy that they're unable to control it any longer. The crystallization is heading right this way. Listen to me. Get out of there while you still can, or you'll be trapped forever.
Right.
As everyone races down the steps, spikes jut out of the walls randomly. Over at the Pokemon Center, people evacuate as the crystal growth begins encasing the building.
There's pandemonium here at the Greenfield Pokemon Center as the entire structure is being engulfed by the crystal formation.
We can't stay.
Right, let's go.
Meanwhile, Ash and the others reach the dining hall and come face to face with the unknown.
The Unown are causing this.
We have to find a way to stop them.
Ash tries to charge in, but hits an invisible force field and is sent flying back.
Some kind of barrier's protecting them.
Yeah, it hurt to run into. Charizard, try to break through it.
Charizard flies headfirst into the barrier and is forced back, but the impact causes a small hole in the energy field. It fires a flamethrower in an attempt to widen the gap, but the barrier reseals itself.
Pika!
You try, Pikachu. Use your Thunderbolt.
Pikachu manages to break a hole in the barrier, but it quickly closes again. Charizard moves besides Pikachu, and the two Pokemon attack together. After several failed attempts, the force field dissipates entirely, but a moment later, the orb of energy at the center of the unknown surges, returning the barrier completely and knocking the Pokemon backward.
Pikachu, are you okay?
Pika.
The massive unknown moves erratically as the energy orb grows several times larger, and more spikes force Ash and the others to retreat, while crystal petals begin rapidly forming a wall around the unknown.
This is a very dangerous situation.
Well, whenever the going gets tough, Team Rocket gets going.
Yeah, on the double.
Go Team Rocket!
Team Rocket runs for the exit, but more spikes prevent their escape.
Tootin' back.
It's too late! Somebody help!
Let's get out of here, now!
Increasingly jagged spikes continue growing as Molly clings to Delia fearfully. Suddenly, a roar rings out. Everyone looks up to see a massive jet of flames create a hole in the upper part of the dining hall, and Entei appears. The fabricated Pokemon's attacks are still very real, and it levels a chunk of spikes before leaping down to the floor.
Molly, I was happy and proud to be your father. The last thing I can do for you is to take you out of this place.
But how?
I was born of your dreams. If you believe in me and the heart of the cards, there is nothing I cannot do.
Entei throws itself at the barrier, straining as it attempts to break through.
Papa!
Molly, help me!
Molly, you have to believe in Entei. Believe it can stop the Unown, and it will.
Entei's legs begin buckling under the opposing force from the barrier.
Believe in me, if that is what you wish.
You can do it, Entei!
Molly!
Pikachu and the other Pokemon resume attacking the barrier as well. The sphere at the center of the unknown begins growing again, and the unknown themselves begin spreading out as they lose control of it.
Molly!
Entei is able to get its face through the barrier and fires in a flamethrower directly into the center of the unknown. And when it hits the orb of energy, everyone has to shield their eyes from the resulting light. The unknown stop moving for a moment, and then begin falling away from the orb, which stabilizes into a small sun.
Molly.
Molly opens her eyes and sees Entei standing with a green aura around it.
I must go now, Molly.
Entei, I'm going to miss you.
And I will miss you. Just keep me close in your dream.
Entei crystallizes and disappears.
Papa.
The light fades as a portal opens above the room, dropping the tiles with the unknown markings onto the floor. The tiles glow for a moment before disappearing as well. The unknown themselves then fly up into the rift as it closes behind them. And as it closes behind them, a wave of light bursts outward, dissolving the crystal growth on the ceiling into sparkles. The wave continues through the dining room, returning it to normal, while the spikes encompassing the building's towers evaporate. The light then continues washing outward, restoring the town to its natural glory. Farther away, the unknown emerge from the portal above the desert, fly into the ruins, and then return to their home dimension. As the last unknown vanishes, an unconscious Professor Hale reappears, as does someone else. When Spencer wakes up, his wife is beside him. Back at the mansion, the sun rises as everyone steps outside.
You were right about Greenfield.
I told you it was beautiful.
And it's real.
Pika, pika!
They see multiple cars driving up the driveway, led by Professor Oak, Schuyler, and Lisa.
Great job. Everything's back to normal.
As everyone waves and greets Professor Oak, Molly looks up and sees a cloud formation of Entei.
Thank you, Entei.
Come on, Molly. You want to go see everybody?
They were really worried about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oak's van, along with a squad of police cars in the news truck, all park in front of the mansion and people begin spilling out.
Molly.
Yeah, miss.
Team Rocket looks out a window from the tower as more police show up.
Well, we can't get out of this tower now.
Not with all those pigs around.
Guess we're stuck in here all alone. Hey, Cab.
Wow, Buffett.
Oh. We should be happy.
How can we be happy, Hugh? We didn't even capture one new Pokemon.
Happy for that little girl. She was adorable, yet indomitable, just like me.
And that Entei was powerful and inscrutable, just like me.
And that Meowth was lovable, just like me.
What does it matter if we failed at catching a Pokemon this time?
We'll get another chance to fail next time.
And so, until
next time,
Team Rocket's
fading
out
out
again!
Thanks, Discord.
The end.
Thank you for listening to our radio drama presentation of Pokémon 3 the Movie, Spell of the Unknown, Entei, because the title is far too long. Ash Ketchum was played by Danny Hill. Molly Hale was played by Mary Rivette. Spencer Hale, Entei, and Lisa were played by Jason Amherst. Brock, James, Tracy, and the butler were played by Cam Griffin. Misty, the reporter, Pikachu, and Wobbuffet were played by Abby Brenner. Delia Ketchum, Jessie, and the cameraman were played by Marina de Marzo. Professor Oak, Meowth, and Schuyler were played by Lealin Queen. Narration was done by me, Joel Guttman. Script adaptation was also done by me, Joel Guttman. Audio engineering was provided by John H. Baker. We will be back with Pokémon 3 the Movie, Spell of the Unknown Entei, powered by Lingo Jam, after a 10-minute intermission.
Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us across social media for updates. Thanks for watching!